Hey guys, shalom. I'm here at the Yam HaMelech, the Dead Sea. Turn around, you can see the water. And I'm guiding a tour of seminary girls from America. And they are swimming on the other side. This is a separate beach where men and women are on separate sides. And I'm having a pipe while I wait for them here on the men's side. But I want to take the opportunity to tell you guys a little bit about where is the location of Sodom from the Bible, which is a big question that all the scholars are trying to understand. And I have a little piece of insight. I'm not saying I know for sure where it is, but I have an idea that I haven't heard others say that might give some insight. Now, we are in the southern part of the Dead Sea, what's known today as En Bokek. And if you look behind me, you can see here, there's a little mountain sticking up. Let me give you a closer look. Okay, this mountain today in modern Israel, in modern Hebrew, is known as Har Sodom or Mount Sodom. And that's because there are scholars who propose that the biblical city of Sodom, and therefore also probably Gomorrah nearby, would have been in the area of this mountain. What's amazing about this mountain is it's made up largely of salt, actually. And there you have the salt formation, which is known as Lot's wife, a large salt formation shaped like a woman looking towards the east, back down towards where the area of Sodom would have been. But today, there are archaeologists who propose, based on very interesting evidence, that it could be that the location of Sodom is in the northern part of the Dead Sea, very far away from us, actually on the Jordanian side, on the other side of the border, in a place called Tel al Hammam. And the evidence that they use to base that on is very interesting, which is they found an area that's completely burnt by something so hot that it turned the rock to glass. And they say that there was an explosion of a meteorite in the atmosphere that basically created such a heat that it turned the whole surface to glass, which would fit very well with sort of what's described in the biblical story of Sodom and Gomorrah. But I'll explain to you why I have a hard time accepting that theory, even though that evidence is very strong. And the reason is very simple. I'll show you the map, and you'll see that in the biblical story, Abraham is with the three angels in Hebron, and they tell him that he's going to have a son through his wife Sarah, the son Isaac, after he already had Ishmael. And then one of the angels disappears, and there's two left, and he escorts the two angels on their journey towards Sodom. And then when he leaves them, while he can see Sodom, God says to him, will I hide from Abraham that which I'm going to do? And he has done so many good things, and he's going to be a great nation. So God tells Abraham, you see that place down there, Sodom, I'm going to destroy it. And of course, his nephew Lot is there. And that's when Abraham famously argues with God and says, what if there's 50 righteous? What if there's this many? And all the way down to 10. And then God says, I will not destroy it if there's 10. And then Abraham stops arguing with God. And of course, there weren't 10. So God did destroy Sodom, only saving Lot and his family. But there's a key thing in geography in that story, which is Abraham is in Hebron, Elonei Mamre, in Hebron. And then he escorts the angels to a place where he can see Sodom. And then he goes back home. And then in the morning, it says he returns to the same place where he left the angels. And it says from there, he can see the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. And he sees the smoke going up like a pillar of fire, of smoke. So what that means is, wherever Sodom is, it has to be visible from a place that can be walked to from Hebron within a few hours, not with several days. Now, I'll show you on the map, and you'll see that from Hebron to Jerusalem, it's a walk of probably a day and a half or so, okay? Certainly a good full day each way, there and back. And if you want to be able to see from the mountaintop of Judea and Samaria, the northern area of the Dead Sea, the area where Wadi Hammam was discovered, you would have to walk from Hebron at least a full day, maybe more, to the area near Jerusalem, then hike down to the side of the mountain where you have the view down to the Dead Sea area, another good 3 or 4 hours. And then you would be able to see the area of Wadi Hammam, this site which is proposed as possibly Sodom. But that doesn't fit with the story, because in the story, Abraham is with the angels, then he escorts them, then he goes back home, then he comes the next morning, and he sees them still in the morning, which means it can't be more than a walk of 1, 2, 3 hours, not more than that. And so it has to be somewhere in the mountain range up here in this area, which is closest to Hebron. And I'll show you on the map what I mean. And so we would have to say that Abraham, who was on the top of the mountain, he hiked an hour or 2 or 3 down to the slope looking down over the desert towards the Dead Sea till he could see the area where the Dead Sea is. And that's the place where he argued with God. And that's the place where he watched the destruction, which means that Sodom must be visible from there. And amazingly, there is a traditional site known as Nebi Yakin, which traditionally is marked as the place where Abraham argued with God. And the Muslims about 1,300 years ago built a mosque there, and they even marked footprints in the ground to show where Abraham argued with God. And that place is a walk of about 2 to 3 hours from Hebron. And if you walk from Hebron east, it's the first place really where you can see this area here. And from there, you can see this area, what we call today, the area of Mount Sodom. And so I think just based on geography, forget about the archaeology, we have to say that Sodom was in this area of what we call Mount Sodom today. So the question is, what is the story with this place in the north of the Dead Sea that's called Wadi Hammam? Well, don't forget, there was Sodom and Gomorrah and 5 cities of the Kikar, 5 cities of the plain. So it could be that these cities were spread out all over the area that we call today the Dead Sea area. And maybe that city is one of the other cities which were among the cities of the plain that were destroyed. But to say that that city is Sodom, I think is very far-fetched just as far as the geography is concerned. Shalom, God bless you all.